Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
And we will start off today by recognizing a world history maker and Ava DuVernay. Does anybody know that name? The name sound familiar?
No, not to me.
I know who it is, but I'm biased because I know people in that sector of
No,
industry.
say it again. Say the name again.
Say you do not know, not Tamiko. You don't know nobody with that.
Say the name again.
Ava DuVernay. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Ava
Yeah.
DuVernay.
Mhm.
I think she was a book writer.
And get this. And a movie maker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
she.
Yeah.
I thought she was a. She's the actual director, one of the blacktop directors that worked with Oprah Winfrey. So who doesn't know her?
Absolutely. Well, she's
What's
a
my
world
prize?
history maker. As we
What's
get
my
as
prize,
we,
Corey?
huh?
What's my prize?
You know what? I had tickets to the concert, but it was on Saturday.
Oh my goodness. My
So-
birthday is Wednesday. Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh. So we doing cupcakes, ice cream, something.
I'm actually going to Mississippi to see one of my board members.
Well, okay, awesome. Well, yeah,
Great.
well, I was just get back to saying that she made history because as a movie maker, she is the first African American woman to ever present or be up for competition at the Venice industry.
Yeah.
TV industry
Film
Wow.
festival.
for her film origins.
Awesome.
Venice Film Festival.
Huh?
The Venice
Film
Film
Festival.
Festival.
Yes, as they told her never to apply and get this. She's like the people here in the city of South Fulton. When you tell us don't do it, we go harder to do it and get it done. And so congratulations to her. As I didn't even know that little factoid, but awesome. As we just keep making strides. And so anyway, I just gave a shout out to her as we wanted to acknowledge that. Tamiko, do you want to share the great news? The facts to thrive.
Yes, I will do that. So, we talk every week about what we can do in the community. We highlight the nonprofits in the community. We highlight small businesses in the community, and we try to just be supportive of everything. Now, I will follow in Councilman Reed's footsteps of he pushes me to do a lot of things that I don't normally do. And one of them was Facts to Thrive's applying for the youth homeless grant. And it is for 18 to 24-year-olds. And so we did apply for the summer youth jobs, which I had never applied before, and we got that one. And then we turned around and applied for the homeless youth grant, and we got that one. And so as far as we know, we are the only organization and area that is getting the funding on this side of town. So we are excited about that. And we were told Thursday, Friday that we were approved for 70,000 towards the homeless to spend between now and the end of the year. And so that is why we kind of thought that this would be a great time to take a moment to talk about it, because I don't know if a lot of people consider 18 to 24 to be part of the youth sector. Thank you, Miss Connie. But it is, if you have anybody who goes to college now, they've moved that age group up that you can stay on their health care, I believe, up to 24. And a lot of people are having to stay living at home, but they can't afford to go into this population to live on their own. We have people who work for the city of South Fulton, and they still can't afford to buy their own house. So the housing situation is a serious situation for those who can afford to try to get somewhere to stay. But we also have people who don't have any money to try to get assistance. And so, um, the councilman, I had to get myself together a little bit this past week, because right after we were told that we got the funding, we have the electrical class. And during that electrical class, I'm thinking, there's a young person that's in the class, and they look like they fit that age group. So you know what, I'm gonna tell them, so when the money comes out, we can go ahead and try to help some people, and she can help to spread the word, because that's her age group, right? Y'all think that would be logical first step to do, don't you think? Anybody want to say yes, no, maybe?
So what's the criteria?
Well, wait, I'm saying to you,
Oh.
I'm talking to this young girl who I'm thinking
Oh.
she would be able to help pass this information on, because she looks like she's in the age group from 18 to 24. Well, as I'm telling her this, she tells me she is homeless.
Oh, I see. I didn't pick that.
And so I was just taken aback, because the class is like getting ready to end, and she comes in like nothing is wrong. She does her, she comes in happy, do everything. You would have never known it. And I was just shocked, because there was no inkling about what her struggles. And I was just shocked, and I said, well, you're really homeless? So she says she's staying in a hotel. She works 2 jobs, and some of these hotels are charging them $750 per week. I couldn't believe
That's
it.
ridiculous.
Per week. So she was like, I can afford rent that's over $2,000. And I was saying, well, if you're paying that kind of money, even if you're paying $500 a week, you get, yeah, I guess so. But the problem with that is, how's she paying for anything else? And she coming to this class to learn a skill so she can get a better job. If that's not somebody who's committed and focused, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, how old are you? And she said 21. And she said, and she's been on her own since she was 17. And so here's where that brings about the importance of this grant. I thought 18 to 24 was a weird price point or age point for kids, to say they kids, but this is still a young girl, and she's been on her own since 17. And so I had to go and think about that. Who is the population that they would be targeting to specify 18 to 24? Anybody want to take a guess? Alrighty, I'll help y'all out. I thought about it, and I said, you know what? We are talking about kids who are aging out of foster care, who's never had anyone to help them. The question was, who do you think is the target that's 18 to 24 that needs this kind of help? We have people who are getting put out of their house for being LGBTQ, gay, transgender, whatever you want to call it. You have people who are coming out of sex trafficking, and Atlanta is huge for that. So if you think about it, there is a specific population just for that age group, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
But how much did we really pay attention to that? And so it just reminded me that, a few weeks back or a month or so ago, we talked about a young man who was sitting in the chair across from the school on Fellwood, and how, we need to figure out something to do. And the councilman asked if anyone wanted to step up and chip in to help find him somewhere to go. And I did not get any comments or responses on that, even though we had a lot of comments about how he needed to go. So we are in a neighborhood where we don't see a lot of homelessness over here. But that doesn't mean we don't have it, because guess what? If you go right to Flat Shoals and Bellwood, right behind the gas station, there's a hotel over there that there is a lot of people who technically would be considered homeless are paying to stay over there. There is people staying in both of those hotels when you on Shannon Parkway getting ready to go into Walmart off of Flat Shows and you turn down that side street. There is a hotel on each side of the street and a motel, and those are a lot of those people are people who are staying week to week in there and not just coming in town. So we do have them. We just have enough of them that can cover to be not completely on the street, but they are struggling and there are kids over there. So a lot of times when we have our events, Councilman Reeves doesn't believe in us throwing food away. So if we have any leftover food, I always have to take it over to those areas and hand out that food. And most of the time, it's little kids and teenagers who come up and ask for the food and take it back. I very rarely get adults that come over and get it. It's normally the kids run up and come and get the food. So just know we do have that population in our area. And so when we put this grant in, what were some of the things that we did? We put in what I could picture what we did. And let me back up again on saying this before I go that far with Councilman Reeves. He seemed to think we were gonna get this grant. He always believes in the sun, moon, and stars. And anybody who talked to him know he will ask for the fireworks, everything. And I was like, Councilman Reeves, this is not one of our categories that we normally apply for. And so we are looking into how to help with housing, but we hadn't gotten that far yet. So this is our first attempt into that. And so one of the criteria was to say you had been what you had been doing for over 2 years to help with this category. So for us, one of the things that we talked about was working with other organizations, and that could be attending the housing summit with Miss Angel. It would be going to help hand out food. If any of you come to the events and Jacob's Healing Hand hands out the fresh fruits and vegetables, going to other organizations that work with homeless or housing. And so we were the only, Burdette was the only location during the winter that had a warming station through the whole city. And we dealt with a few guys. We even bought a bus ticket for a guy to get home. I personally drove some ladies to go get ID or help them go to the shelters and where they could get assistance. So those were not things that we had been doing on a consistent basis. So we didn't consider ourselves to primarily be helping with homelessness, but apparently it was enough. And so we were approved, and I was just so excited to find out we had gotten this funding that I just started calling organizations that I do know work directly with homelessness. And, we're working on how we can get these resources out to the community. Habitat called today. And so we're just, work source called today. So we're just in a place where right now we're putting all the pieces together. And I see Miss Angel is on here. And so I just want her to tell y'all a couple of points about dealing with homelessness in the area, some of the things she's noticed.
Oh, well, hi everyone, and thank you for bringing me in. We are the South Fulton Human Services Coalition, and we are working diligently in the Union City area with the homeless over there. We've noticed a very big population over there, and it's always increasing. So we started working to see what we can do to start at least facilitating to figure out just how many people are in the area, how we can get them registered, and make some contacts that would make their life struggle a little bit easier. So we came up with mobile showers, making sure that they have a hot meal on that day, and also making sure that they had some vegetables and some things that they could utilize after they left from the shower area, along with some clothing and making sure that they had an opportunity to let us know a little bit about what's going on with them so we could direct them into the next step. So we did get some commitments. We have the South Fulton Police that are working with us, 5 officers, and also the Union City Police, especially Lieutenant Springer, who's assisting us in making sure that we have facilities where every other Monday we can come out and provide these. We are definitely looking for volunteers because it takes 50 people every time we go out to do this shower, which takes about 4 hours. But we can facilitate at least 50 people to get a shower that day, along with that hot meal, the food that they can take with them, and also some clothing. So we felt that would be a first step in us getting the individuals who are going through the homeless transition so that we can identify where these individuals are and what their needs are.
Thank you, Ms. Angel. I don't know, I know we have some other organizations that are going to be joining in tonight to also talk about some of their experiences. I see that Jacob's Healing Hand is here. Do you want to say anything about your experience about handing out food?
Hi there. Hi, this is Chantel with Jacob's Healing Hands. What I can say is that with the food, we are more than welcome to come and partner with any of the other organizations who come and give out our fresh produce. Just please reach out to us. I know that I have my transitional home here in Cobb County, but I see a lot of people that are dealing with the homelessness, and it is a issue. And that I think that we do need to come together and do what we can do. So Tomiko, again, my hat go off to you, and congratulations for this, and whatever that we can do to help you. We can partner with any other organization to come out and give out the fresh produce. I know sometimes maybe the veggies will be hard, and if they're homeless, so we can always give out some of the fruits. So please reach out to me, whatever you need me to do. If I'm available, I will be there to assist. And again, congratulations, my dear.
Thank you. I know Siobhan is also joined the call. She also works with organizations. So if you want to say something, Siobhan, please tell us your organization and some of the things that you got going on.
Good evening, everyone. I do apologize, but I don't know what everything has been over, but I'm just gonna briefly say what I need to say. So I am with Women's Wellness and Awareness. We are a resource center for women. We are in the process of getting together a few programs, transitional housing as well as homeless program. We're currently working on a homeless shower program that will start up at the end of September. And that will be free to anyone in the community. We'll have a few vendors out there that we are working with: Mobile Showers Atlanta, Crack Factory, Feeding Georgia Families, South Fulton Police, as well as Union City Police. And there's a few others I'm pretty sure I'm missing right now. But yeah, that is one of the programs that will be starting up, and this will be a continuous program. Every other Monday. I do have a flyer with the dates on there. We just are still working out a few last minute kinks. So we'll be able to announce the location soon, in the next week. So other than that, is there something else that you want me to brief them on?
Would you like to just tell them a little bit about what you have noticed with the people who are homeless?
What I have noticed is homeless is just not homeless just being out on the streets. There's a lot of couch surfing. There's a lot of people in cars, abandoned buildings, It's a lot greater than what everyone thinks. At the same time, we're all one step away. I'll just put that out there. We're just all one step away from being homeless or something happening in our own lives. So it is a great need of having to put together these programs to be able to help and service those in the community, get them back up on their feet, get them stable housing, food, shelter, all of it. So it is a great need. And like I said, I have run into so many people that, you wouldn't ordinarily think was homeless. But like I said, homelessness goes way beyond just someone sleeping behind an abandoned building. And that's what we're trying to fix, allow people to have dignity and respect, and just help them as best as we can, because I just believe it takes a village to help people. Nobody can do anything on their own. And when you do, it's a lot harder and probably a lot longer process to do. But I just believe in giving people a chance and just helping them out as much as possible. So.
Thank you. I can't tell if I got any other organizations that work with homelessness, but if there is someone on here, please go ahead and unmute and introduce yourself and talk about it. Before I go to answer these questions. Is there anyone else who wants to talk about anything regarding helping out, volunteering, anything with dealing with homelessness before we open up for questions?
That was my question, Tamiko. I wanted to find out. I'm just coming on the call. Jane, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Miss Payne mentioned volunteering. Do you have an offering coming up here in the next week or so that you're looking for volunteers for?
That is correct. Siobhan, as she gets those dates concrete, will be looking for those volunteers, and we'll be sending out some flyers, and we'll be definitely letting that flyer go through Councilman Corey's office so that we can alert the community that we're going to be needing those volunteers.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut in one second. I'm gonna drop my email in the chat. And you can email me if you would like to be a volunteer and let me know your availability. There is a flyer. I can post that as well in the chat, and it does have the dates that we will be servicing. We just have not locked the location in. But volunteers are something that we will need on a continuous basis. So even if you can't help this month, next month, December, whatever, you can take your pick. Let me know your availability. I will put my email in there, and there will be a volunteer form that I'll have available this week. But in the meantime, you can just email me, okay?
Awesome.
Awesome, thank you.
That's awesome, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, and so it's what a wonderful thing that we have. As they say a village, I say collaboration wins championships. And this is definitely a well-deserved effort and well-deserved discussion from the general, because like she does a lot behind the scenes, and she runs the nonprofit cohort. We done organized grant writing workshops. The latest was Grant Writing USA, that 2-day workshop. She does just a wonderful job in this space, and so happy that she's part of the administration, and and upping her bandwidth, upping her knowledge, and get this, and always there to lend a hand to her fellow man or woman. And I tell you, and so and she's about business and structure, and I just says that it's well deserved. So there's no doubt in my mind. All you have to do is keep writing and keep doing it. Stay at it. Get this, consistency is the key to anything. And I tell you, and so it's just, I'm happy for her. And by the way, General Leverett, today I found you a house. 2 housing men.
All right.
So, yeah, we'll be discussing that as I just tell you, it's just been a long day. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to District Live. And so we're changing up the format because we are on the scene. And so I am right here. Can anybody guess where I'm at?
I'm gonna
Buffington
say
Road. I'm gonna say Buffington Road.
Buffington Road, absolutely.
Oh,
And what is
okay.
this with all the trees getting knocked down and everything else? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the street widening project that is going on, has taken place from GDOT, and it's interconnecting 3 different municipalities. From the top side, you have on the right, South Fulton, on the left, Union City. Coming down is South Fulton. Right here where I'm standing is South Fulton, and right there is Union City.
Mhm.
And across the street, the Chevron, and then goes on down. But that's where we at, ladies and gentlemen. And so I'll be coming live in the district somewhere where progress is being made. Or if you want me to pull up in your driveway, we can do it right there. But welcome to the new format, District Live. And so as I'm out in the streets, and I will be continuously, and let know what's going on. And so, and all shouts out to our program, Mr. Electric, and the young lady who's homeless, but still knows the opportunity that she has to get a trade. And so, or introduced to a trade, and doing well at it and will succeed. And so now is that we're doing the things necessary to further outside of what we, the municipality, the city is doing. And so if they want to become a journeyman, they will have that opportunity. And so people from all over the state know about this program. And so, but we want the people here in the city of South Fulton to take full advantage of it. As it's in the budget. And by the way, Tuesdays and Thursdays, speaking of homeless, as I've asked that we open up the gym so they homeless people can come in during the time of class, can come in and take a shower, get groomed, and those things that's necessary as essentials to life. So if you know anybody, tell them they will have a place where they can come over at Bird Ed. And so, Siobhan, was you talking to me about mobile showers at one time?
Yes, sir. I did. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we'll re-engage in that conversation. And
Yes, sir.
so at a steel built structures, ladies and gentlemen, the opportunity is what's in front of us is the future is bright. And I love every moment of it. And so, and all the people that has been on this call, been associated, has reached out and has been helped as we just stay consistent and doing what we do. It might move at tortoise pace, and we got to do a better job of communicating the word out there, but y'all are best communicators. We on the call every Monday. Spread the word in the community. And so the good things that's going on. And so facts to thrive, Jacob's Hill in hand. Rooted affirmations. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all people right here. Jane, we waiting on you. Let's come up to Jane's house. And so is because we're here to not accept mediocre, but we're here to go from good to great. And so if anybody has ever read that book, if you haven't, I would that's suggested reading. And so how can you go from good to great? Because we can always do something better. And speaking of, COVID is back on the uptick. And you know, everybody's saying mask up. So get this, y'all know what I picked up today? Hold on, wait for it.
Oh, one of those the clear mask, the plastic
My
mask.
green, but it's green.
Oh, goodness. He would find one green. That's his favorite color. Oh,
So
boy.
ladies and gentlemen, y'all do want to stay. I like these though, right? This kind of cool, but gotta get used to it. But
It's
anyway,
still
COVID is back
green.
on the rise. So do take precautions for yourself, for your family, but more so for yourself as protect yourself. Because it is people are they actually trying to create another booster shot for the uptick. So there's just be cautious out there in whatever you're doing. And so what else do we have today? It's Monday. And we District Live. Talk to me.
So one of the things I do want to remind people, it is 9/11. If you have not been aware of it all day, every day, it is September 11th. And the planes crashed into the buildings in 2001, and it is 2023.
It seemed like yesterday, don't it?
It does. Jane has her hand up.
Go ahead, Jane. Jane?
All right, Stacy.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, good.
Stacy, how are you?
I'm good. But Corey, Tamiko, I need you guys' I need your help. I
What's
need your
going on?
help. And this has to do with right where you are, Corey, on the widening project, right? My backyard is exposed. And right now, I'm so torn right now, and I need your help in helping me see the benefits that we're getting from this, because right now it's temporary discomfort, huge discomfort, because like literally our sunroom is sitting on Buffington Road, so it's a huge discomfort. Don't feel secure in our own home, and I know other people feel the same way, and I just really need someone to tell me what are the benefits of this.
Well, this is something that they planned over 20 years ago.
Right.
And that for the influx in traffic, particularly Chick-fil-A headquarters right there, you have the rock quarry and neighboring subdivisions. So which means you have a lot of truck traffic too. And so the widening project really is for the trucks to get off on the exit because they're expanding the bridge too. The one down by Chick-fil-A, but they're coming all the way to and stopping at this bridge here because this bridge wasn't on the replacement list. And so, but
It needs to
however,
be on the replacement list. It looks horrible.
Right, but however, it's going to come with noise retention walls, sidewalks, and we had Mr. Denard on. It was twice. When he was on about 4 weeks ago, 4 to 5 weeks ago, and he told us to get with the engineer because he said that this project was a little bit delayed, but it's on time. It's rocking and rolling. But they have a final rendering on what it would look like for the streetscapes. And I'm curious to know is your side, that portion gonna have the noise retention wall? Because that will provide you the privacy that you would like if you're sitting in your sunroom. And the overall benefits of it is street aesthetics, lights, smooth, easy ride on, because Buffalo Road can get kind of jam-packed. And so it'll provide for easy traffic. They're not going to make an exit and entrance on the other side of the bridge like I thought they would. They're just expanding. And so that's fine, but I'm asking them to put lights on it. And so there's like a welcome to city of South Fulton and light up the night coming off the highway. And so there's things that they can do, but that's just the overall benefit. It's just widen streets, reduce traffic mitigation, and streetscapes. And I'm curious to see those streetscapes now because I do know the conversation that was happening with Aerotropolis, and I know that they was going to provide um, some funding for that as well. But I think this is solely GDOT because I don't think that we're on with the Aerotropolis CID. So I'm coming to your neighborhood to see what you're talking about. So I get
Oh,
a
okay.
good
Well,
information.
look, come on outside. From where you're at, I'm on the left-hand side, the very first house. But it sounds like the benefits that we're gonna see then is from what you've just said. We'll have the streetscapes, like you mentioned. We'll have we'll have sidewalks, but the benefit is really gonna be for the trucks, right? And the logistics in the area. I mean,
Well, we asked for them low emission vehicles, trucks. Like let's go towards the future and what the sustainability looks like, particularly with less emissions. If we're talking about the tractor trailers and the 18-wheelers, but the box trucks with a lift gate provide more suitable options, and anything lower than that. But because the truck got stuck on the train track today. And so, as thanks, Jane, for that picture, because
Welcome.
I tell you, like it's amazing, and I tell that we just need to go over it. And so, another truck stuck on the track. Thank God the train wasn't coming. And so we seen that, and so we need I'll get us on 911, 911. But it is an emergency. But the Coalition Against Bigger Trucks, we're part of that group, and there is legislation. There was legislation pushed that trains cannot stop in proximity to an elementary school. So we have Felwood Elementary. So we're jumping on that legislation as well from the state. And, we just want to do all that we can to stay involved, stay engaged for the betterment of the community. But another truck stop. Anyway, what else, ladies and
good
gentlemen?
to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Miss Stacy. How you doing? And so we get it, ladies and gentlemen, y'all want to pull up on it. We get to see what we at District Live. So get this, we take this call on the road as we'll be in a community near you. As this is the new format. And so befitting we call it District Live.
All right,
Yeah,
Miss
this is
Sheila,
what
you
she's
had
talking
your
about,
hand
ladies
up.
and gentlemen.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations, Tamiko. Job well done.
Thank you. Thank all of y'all. This is a group effort.
I know. And we at South Fulton Human Services Coalition appreciate you attending our meetings. But I wanted to speak on the homeless situation, about how we can come together and open our transitional homes and, do temporary things to address the homeless situation. But what can we do to deal with the core problem, like affordable housing, people losing their jobs and becoming homeless? But the bigger problem I see is that we are constantly being told that there is money out there to address putting up the homeless and things like that. But then when you try to reach, say, for instance, Atlanta or the county, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of money that they have to assist the homeless. Now, I have referred a lot of people to the Fulton County Homeless Task Force group, and they do provide temporary housing. But the people, several of the people that I referred to them ended up being thrown out of these shelters or the hotels because they're not following the rules, because there's mental health challenges and then they're on drugs. And those items prohibit them from being effective in following through with getting the results that they really need. So you end up seeing them back under a bridge or back living in a abandoned building.
So I'll start that answer. So there is a few categories. I think Miss Loretta is on here that works with the veterans. So you have a couple of situations that are happening. You have people who just regular, everyday, living check to check, crisis happens. One, the car breaks down, and between paying to fix the car and paying the rent, they have to make a choice. And so they are functioning, they work, they take care of their family, kids go to school or whatever, and they just cannot get over this bill, or there's multiple bills happening at the same time. They ran up all the credit cards, whatever has happened to try to hold on, and they just can't hold on anymore. So that's one set of people. Again, we talked about the people who are coming out of sex trafficking, and I sat through a seminar that even in that instance, putting them back into the workforce, there is some technical difficulties going on there with them. There are people who are aging out of foster care. Well, they may not have gotten any help to learn how to handle bills, bank accounts, get a job, go to college, go to the military, whatever. They just was, some people, they were just a check until it was time to put them out. And so you have multiple situations on how people are getting here. You got domestic violence. You got, even where, more, not as much these days as it was predominantly years ago, where the men worked, the women didn't work. And so if anything happened, they either had to put up with it or they didn't have anywhere to go. So we still have that situation happening though. So there's multiple reasons why people get out there, this is happening. This is before we add on mental health or drugs. So when it comes to, I only have limited resources, I'm going to help the ones that I can help get up on their feet quick, fast, in a hurry as a choice. We already know that. If they are having a mental health issue or they are having a drug issue, that's a whole nother extra level or two that is creating the situation that we are in. And so some people are there due to circumstance and some are there due to other factors. So when we're talking about homelessness, we can't always talk about it as one whole issue. We might have to attack it from different perspectives. And so when I have a room or a building that has 100 people in it, we don't want any drama, fights, whatever. We're not going to have drugs. We're not going to have, so of course, if you can't follow the rules, they are going to put you out, because guess what? There was 200 people that needed a room. And so I don't have to deal with the problem homeless when I got nice homeless I can deal with for the sake of this conversation. And so not that it's the greatest solution or answer, but that is just the circumstances, that is reality of organization trying to handle as much as they can with what they can. They're going to deal with the set that's easier to help. Now, is there organizations who focus on people with drugs? Yes, we see the commercials all the time. Do we have people who are focusing on mental health issues? Yes, we have that. But we don't always have someone who is always covering all or both of those things at the same time. So let me tell you a little bit about some statistics on homeless, and then let me tell you some of the things that we are going to offer to try to help. And so one of the questions that was on the application was define the population to be served in a geographic location and program serving services targeting the high-risk areas within Fulton County. Alrighty. So let's just go with some of the statistics that I put in there. According to the 2015 Atlanta Youth Count and Needs Assessment final report provided, the vast majority of homeless youth were Black and African American, which was 71%. Cisgender men was 60.5%, which is actual men. They were born men when they say cisgender. And between the ages of 20 to 25, 71%, which is where this money is focusing. The most common reasons youth found themselves homeless were financial problems, 46%, job problems, 32%, family violence, 28%, being kicked out of their home, 24%, and housing problems in general. Nearly 1/3, 31% of homeless youth interviewed were reported being in school. So these are just not off the chain people, or nor did you hear anything about drugs or mental health, which I'm sure there is some in there. Many homeless youth in the survey reported experiencing significant life trauma, including exposure to neighborhood violence, 78%, which we have right over here, being robbed or having something stolen, 61%, witnessing a parent going to jail or prison, 51%. We forget all these people in jail, what's happening to their kids? Experiencing abuse as a child, 42%, or being involved with foster care, 27%, or child welfare systems, 19%. 2/3, or 67%, of homeless youth surveyed were dreamers who demonstrated a remarkable resilience and hope for the future, including big careers and independent success. So that was something that I included in the grant, which, how many of you realize those kind of statistics were occurring?
I did. And
Yeah.
to piggyback on what you're saying about foster care, I have been trying to find out why is it that when a child ages out of foster care, they're given a suitcase with a few clothes and nothing else. So I'm like, well, you are treating this child, they're still a child, like an adult, saying, okay, you're 18 now, we're through with you. And to me, the rules should be changed as far as how that's done, or either the rules in foster care need to be changed to better equip these children once they do age out, that they can be productive, but that's not happening.
I agree. Some people got to care more than just, like you said, a check or just somebody in the system, and let's move on. So now I'll tell you, because of that, what were some of the things that we asked to do with this funding? And so first of all, there was $1 million that they gave out. So Facts to Thrive received 70 of it. It was only 15, 16 organizations that got this funding. So that $1 million is not a lot when you break that down. I even broke down, let's just say, for the sake of the argument, to help 15 kids, we looking at 6,000, 6,500 if I divided that evenly. To help 30 of them, now we're talking about $2,500, $3,500. That's not a lot of money out of all the things that we could and should do, which goes back to why they're calling these places and the money is running out. It's not necessarily an endless supply of funds. So just for the sake of the argument, ours, we only got 70, and it's only to December 30th. So January 1, if no other funds come in, we won't be able to help them. We will only have what we have, and it won't carry over to the next year. We are going to spend this money because there is tons of people who need this help. But we asked for it to cover, just so you know, there were categories of what you were willing to offer. And thank you, Ms. Chandra. Go to our website and sign up to be a volunteer. we asked what would we spend the money on? So there was a couple of categories. So there was emergency shelter services. So we can pay for a hotel motel up to a couple of months. We can pay for temporary housing. We can pay for transitional housing. So let's just make an example of, like the young girl said, if we paid $500 a week for them, even if we gave them $2,000-3,000, that would only give them 2-3 months of coverage. So it would have to be something that they could get back on track within that 2-3 months. The outreach and support, we ask to pay for food, water, hygiene products, computer if they didn't have one, transportation if they needed it, clothing, identification. Some people can't get into the shelter if they don't have ID. And I learned that with the warming station. Incentive gift cards, access to education, job training, support, program supplies, direct, and we don't know what we're going to run into. And housing assistance, so rent assistance, housing vouchers. Like the young lady said, she can afford the rent, she couldn't afford the deposit and the rent. Utilities, some people may have to pay a deposit just to get their utilities, and maybe they don't have the deposit, they can just pay the regular bill. So we ask for that. Help with helping them get to mental health counseling or even medication. People forget, like you said, they're homeless or whatever, they may not have the money for medication. And we also ask for some money just to do outreach, helping feed people, putting out the information, bringing awareness to this. And so even if it is somebody who has a mental health issue, let's just say for the sake of that, then it could be that they qualify for disability services, but they've got to have someone who's going to oversee the money to pay the bills. Or people on drugs, that they got to have someone to oversee and pay their bills for them, because they don't, they need those kind of people. And so sometimes we have to volunteer to be one of those people, but then you have to deal with what comes with dealing with that person who wants their money when they want it. So can the city of South Fulton donate space, abandoned buildings? So for right now, the city doesn't have their own buildings. We just asked this summer, could we have our own land bank? And so Fulton County currently has a land bank, but we would need to ask them to allow us to take some of those properties and or land so we could build some facilities. But as far as I'm aware of from my meetings with the homeless services program, that we don't have anything on this side of town for them to officially be housed. Any questions, comments?
I got a question about the land bank. Is the grant just specific for the city, or is the grant for Fulton County?
So the funding came from Fulton County. So we can help anyone within Fulton County, not just City of South Fulton. But they gotta be from Fulton County. So here we go. Somebody from DeKalb, I can't help them.
So with that, is it possible to look at what Fulton County has space has available? Because isn't it possible for a nonprofit to go into not necessarily like a contract, but some kind of agreement where you can get the space for $1?
So guess what? There's only so much I can do. I haven't had time to track down how the details of getting the property from the land bank. Okay. So I am always open to volunteers who will help me with research, but that is something that I did talk to the councilman about. We are not unopposed to taking that task on. Even if we get a property or a building, we still have to find the funding to do the repairs or do upkeep. Now we do have a transitional home for women ex-offenders. People forget about them. When they come out of jail, they just send them on their way or they drop them off at the bus stop. And so she's not on the call right now, but she has launched her house right across on Stonewall Tail, across from the Health and Human Services building. But she has that program just for women who just came out of jail. Now, they could also apply for the help, but she's paying for stuff out of her pocket. So technically, they could apply for assistance, and she's housing them, so they would be eligible. But it's not just that we're paying for that. Like for me, like Ms. Sheila said, I would like to know that when we step out, they can keep going. So the young lady who just needs help getting into a place, that would be awesome. The people who are going into the transitional home that'll be staying there for a year or two to keep going, if we can help fund her for a couple months to pay them until they can get their public assistance or get into a training program or whatever, that would be awesome. But it will hurt my heart to help someone for a minute and then they got to go right back into their circumstances. I really would love to help the ones that we can see that they'll make it. Because even if you just pay attention to what I said, even if we divided the money up, the 3,000, 2,500, we still are only going to help 30 people out of how many?
Out of hundreds.
So that's my point. We don't have $20 million. And that's when people hear $1 million or $10 million or $5 million, they think that covers a lot, but divide it up and now it's not.
Yeah, and so which speaks of, and many people have said, oh, a homeless shelter. Well, you know, there's new things that can be done. Pods, steel built structures, just communities. But we get it, let me say, but we better start addressing this because it's a real issue and it's going to exacerbate particularly as the housing market fluctuates. And so, because as you said, many people are losing their jobs, losing their homes. Some people sell their homes, move away, then come back to rent the same home. And so that's why I say sell your house, but not the land. This land lease, tell them pay you rent there and build you another one in the backyard. And so, but this, as we can't let this go away, we do have an obligation. We talk about affordable housing, but to me, affordable housing is whatever an individual can afford from all price points. And so, but we do know that the one bedroom, $800 a month, that's over. As a one bedroom average is $1,495 a month. Y'all know how many square feet that is?
Probably 750, anywhere from 5 to 750.
Right. But you can own a home for less money than that, cottage home. And I just love these steel built structures and because we have a weekend appointment to go stay in one. And the document, I just tell, is that the experience. And so, steel built structures. Y'all know anything stronger than steel?
Nope. But I definitely like the idea of steel buildings.
I almost made a joke there and said, Jesus.
That's true though. It is. That's true. You know what I mean? And so, as
but not all seriousness, Councilman Reeves, I want to point out your point. You said the average one bedroom apartment is $1,400 a month.
Yeah.
Minimum wage is still like $750. If you multiply that times 40 hours times 4 weeks, and that's gross before they take out taxes, that's $1,200 a month.
And that's just on rent. That's not.
No. That was their check.
That's their check. Yes. Yeah.
And they haven't taken out taxes yet.
Exactly.
So it's 1,200. The cost is 1,400. So they already can't afford a 1-bedroom apartment. Now I haven't even taken out taxes.
Miss
Right.
Linda, you're right. Affordable
Right.
housing is no more.
It's no more. And so, as we have to we have to rethink housing options and housing choices, and embrace micro living. And so, because people do like that micro living, let's also take care of and more affordable to them, and to take care of. And so, uh, for every problem, there is a solution, but we do have to work collaboratively for those solutions. Steel built structures is the way to go. As I'm retrofitting my carport with steel built structures, I got to go get these doors. And so, as I just can't wait, but there's real examples that you can go see live. And as I just remember when we went on the cottage home tour, and then we had Booker T come speak to the group. I mean, education is a key component. And so, and if you can go experience it and not just hear about it, I think that's, that's so much better, because you see a finished product, and you just get it. You have to see it for yourself. As I can explain it, but I go overboard sometimes. And so, but housing choice is going to be a key component. And I'm going to tell you and we have to focus on senior housing, because one of the biggest components, one of the biggest factors is seniors going fixed income and renting. And they're trying to go from $900, get this, to $1,800. Tell me, where's the senior going to go? We have no senior options, right? So we have to put our efforts and energies towards those as well.
Look, they're gonna have to be nice to their kids.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna say nothing, but right, amen.
Because my mom is one of those people who all she had was Social Security to live off of, and she was a housewife, and so she used to work when she was a single parent that was taking care of me and my older sister and brother, but then she remarried, became a housewife, and your Social Security is counting back the last 10 years, not the last 100 years. And so she didn't have it. So she didn't have other income. So she got the basic Social Security check. So she split 6 months with me and 6 months with my sister in DC, but she wouldn't be able to, she couldn't live and pay all the bills if she didn't have somewhere to stay. It's a hard thing for an independent person to have to depend on someone that they've made it 60 years of their life to stand on their own place, to have to now leave their home and just stay with someone else under someone else's rules.
Right. And so that's key facts. And
you have a
those are
couple
facts
questions. You got a couple questions in here. So one of the questions, I'm not really sure what she meant by that. Ms. Dolores Lamar has in-home daycare and needs help with this. I don't understand the question. Well, it's a comment, it wasn't a question. So Ms. Lamar, you want to explain that?
Okay, I'm sorry. The city came out and did evaluation on my property. And I didn't agree with it. When they came out, they said my house has a creek behind it, and I have trees behind the house. I have a fence, but the trees are on the side of the school, where the school is. And the gentleman came out, he took pictures. He told me that I own a part of the creek and the trees were my responsibility. The school did some work, they built it in school, but they took some trees down, but they didn't come down to the part where the creek is, where the homes are. And so I was questioning that. So they said that I own the trees are my responsibility, and I disagree with that. And he said I also own a part of the creek. I totally disagree with that. How can I own a creek? That's a part of the city, I thought. They own that.
Does
So
that creek need to clean up?
pardon me?
Does that creek need to be cleaned up?
You know what? We did have a major problem at one time with that. And they did come out here and get a lot of debris and a lot of stuff out of it. And we haven't had that flooding going on like we used to. That has slowed down tremendously. But the tree thing, that is, oh, it has gotten so serious. And I can't afford to cut down these trees. I don't believe that these trees are on my property. I have a fence. He said the fence is wrong. They said they put their fence up the way they should have went on back to the creek. And that's not true. I don't believe that. They
So
said
he's gonna build a fence through the creek and creek off and get that fence off the creek that you own portion. That's insane, right?
yeah, right. And he said,
so
I'm sorry.
I just want to know who came out and told you this, and I just want to know.
Okay, first of all, when I called the city, I did call city in Atlanta where I was referred to, and they asked me to get in touch with the school. The school got in touch with I guess these are the planners, the zoners for the city. They came out, and they came out, looked, and took pictures, and came back out and told me with the pictures. Said that's when they told me that was my responsibility. These are my trees on my land, on my property, and part of this is I own part of the creek. I said I own part of the creek. How is that? This is the city property. I don't own a creek. So the fence was already there when I moved here. My mom moved here years ago, so I live here now. But the creek, the fence was already there. But he was saying that the fence should have went back like into the creek, and since it's a part of my property, and that don't sound right.
So
But
do you have a property survey?
Did I? Yeah, yes.
Your survey gonna tell you your boundaries, and it is gonna be on the plat down in Fulton County. And so,
Right.
and still be on the legal description should be on your warranty deed.
Or go to the tax assessor's office and put in your
Correct.
address, and that will give you your markers, your property marker. It will be numerically, but at least you'll have it, and you'll have to have someone flag it, a surveyor flag it, so that
Okay.
you know legally where your property is.
Right. Because if you own part of the creek, then you have a water source, right? You own the water source. You can possibly sell the water sell the water to get the trees knocked down.
Wow.
Get it. If they telling me I own the creek, get it. I'll try to bottle the water. Chlorine
Yeah.
water. And get it. Please tell me I own part of a creek.
Okay, I'll start with that. Tax assessors. Let me call them tomorrow and see what I could go forward with.
You don't have to call them. You don't have to call them. If you go to the tax assessor's website, you can. You go to the tax assessor's website, and on the side it'll say property or look up property.
Okay.
If you go to that tab and type in your address, and be mindful of the drive and all that drive, road, all that other good stuff. Put in your complete address, and it will pull up your parcel number, how long you've owned it, what you paid for it, when you paid for it, and it'll give the history on the property.
Got it. Okay, we'll do that.
You can do that on your own without having to call and have someone do it for you. But like I said, when it'll give you your longitude and latitude marking. So the side, it'll give you the length and the width of your property line. But like I said, you will still need to. It will be advantageous of you to get it surveyed, and getting it surveyed is not free. Hint, hint, it's not free. So if somebody's trying to tell you, that you own a creek, and
Yes.
you own a creek, then you need to get a survey. But here's a caveat.
Okay.
Typically, when your land is fenced off, they don't
Uh-huh.
fence in all of your land. It's like they give you get like a 10 or so foot buffer. So
Okay.
you've actually, in some cases, lose a little land on the fencing than not.
Okay.
So I know we've gone over our normal 7:30. For those of you who want to leave, feel free. I do
I
want to
wanted to
remind
ask.
everybody that we will be meeting in person over at Economic Development next Monday for an update on what's going on the Old National Corridor, things that are happening over there and as well as around the city. So we will meet up there at 6 p.m., not 6:30. So we'll be over there at 6 to 7:30. And the flyer went out today, but the time on it is wrong. So I'm waiting for them to fix the time. But I wanted to, it says 8:30, but we will not be there 2.5 hours. So just note we'll be in person over by LA Fitness at the Economic Development Office next Monday. To see you all in person. We will allow the Zoom option to be available as well for those who can't make it. Councilman Reeves will be meeting with Camelot homeowners this Thursday. If you know of any homeowners, they need to register and not just show up.
Well, to be correction on that. So I got to call and tell them I got to do it another day, the 13th to the 15th, because there's a forum for Thursday at 6 from 6 to 8 for all the candidates. Y'all know how I feel about forums, so I ain't gonna even say it, but apparently I have to go. So,
Yes, you do.
right, and so I got to postpone that one from Camelot. Like I want to move it, but because we do have progress meeting that's coming. We had a rendering on what the future will be looking like, but the young lady's computer crashed, and so we're still waiting on to get that updated because we're gonna have something for them tangible to see and a viable solution. We also got the police meeting. So if y'all haven't heard today, there was a body dragged out of the lake, badly decomposed. And so, but however, and so we have issues, but get this, we have solutions. Things have happened over there that we can move forward now in a positive direction. And I'm just gonna say less and we're doing more but don't believe everything y'all hear on TV now. It is. And so they have y'all believe in our own units over in Camelot. And so it's interesting. That's why I don't do media. They do their own spin. But however,
oh no, I got a call that you said it out your mouth.
That's why that's why I'm so happy I had a witness there. And so but also too is next Monday, I'm scheduled to be in Jekyll Island. And so I'll be joining you guys via phone, but you're in good hands with General Leverett. And so and so we'll talk about that. And then we got the Congressional Black Caucus in DC at the end of the month. And what it is, one of the topics of discussion is we need that money for that bridge to go over the Stacks Road, so and to the highway, because to avoid that train and them trucks running over the tracks or cut the hill or do something. Isn't that right?
We do. And
right.
Excuse me. What's his name? Mr. Martin? Is that his name?
Who is Mr.
Martinez? Mr. Martinez.
Yes, Jim Martinez. Yes.
Yes, I talked to him and he said one of the problems was that most of the right of way belongs to CSX Railroad.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's an issue that's going to have to be worked out.
And that's why we're going up there, because see, it's not just the right of way, it's also the air rights. You
Okay.
actually got to purchase the air rights to go over them. It's interesting.
So is that
but y'all at
Fairwood
home
and
have air
Mallory?
rights too now, huh?
Is that Fairwood and Mallory? Two
Yes,
bridges?
ma'am. Fairwood and Mallory, where it crosses over to 12 Stacks. Was the 29, Highway 29.
And also, when is T-Splash gonna pave Stacks Road?
It's funny to you interested in that because you remember we had approved that grant in the fact of $2.5 million almost 6 months ago, right?
Yes.
That's a good question because we voted to accept it. So as I said, Mr. Valenzuela, it's about time y'all cut the road in it because see, I wanted it done at the same time they was doing that bridge portion because I said that y'all ain't gonna just do the rest of the road because it looked like anyway. But however, as I'm on him about that, I said, brothers, we need to go ahead and get that done ASAP because it was an LMIS grant. I said, I won't forget it because we fought hard to get that one and we to accept it though, $2.5 million. So they have
That's
money, but then we would have to talk to our grants manager. I'm gonna leave that conversation for staff. As
Please
I
send me
feel
an email in writing on your request and I'll research it.
Thank you, Chair. I love you for that. It's because I feel very strongly about that. Is because as we're not gonna wait like we waited 2 years anyway. I'll tell you, the
Please
rockets don't
send me
move
an
that slow.
email. I put my email in the chat, and please send me an email on your that grant request so we can specify which grant we would like a status update on. All righty.
Hey, tomorrow is council day, right? Second
It
Tuesday.
is. That's another question that's in here. There was a question about the agenda for tomorrow in here.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ms. Collins.
Okay, I see you have several Airbnb homes that you I guess that will or may be approved. However, one question I have on the Airbnbs, the people that live in the neighborhood where where they're located, are they notified or do they have to get notification and speak on these Airbnbs being placed in their neighborhoods?
Well, no, they really don't. It's a special use permit for them to have. But I think that with a special use permit, that the community should be notified because what it does is it allows the HOA to know exactly how many Airbnbs are registered there with the city of South Fulton. It's a one of those homeowners association deals because that's the benefit of the knowledge base to at least make them aware so they can make the community.
Okay. Hello?
This street, you got X amount on this street, you have X amount. But because they might have a cap. Hey, we only want 5 in our community. And they can make that
we didn't know that. Thanks for telling us.
Well, you got to make that a part of your covenants and bylaws. You can go in there, the board can change that. As we only want 5, get this. And that's the way that we can legit have that's how the cities and HOAs can work together. Information. That's
okay.
information.
Okay, one other quick question. I see we have SD's number 10 on this agenda for tomorrow. Chandra, are you there?
I am, but I didn't want to, Ms. Collins, I appreciate that, but I see Brandy's hand is up and I didn't want to put in front of her, but that's hold that thought.
Okay.
Brandy.
I'm going to go look at the agenda, but I didn't know if someone had a quick reference to tell me, is there anything on Hampton Court?
No,
I didn't see anything.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
You know we ain't gonna have them rumor how it is. That was the very first call. So, hey,
you know what? It's almost anniversary time. We started in October, the beginning of October.
So that would be what? 2 years? 2 years? Hey, it is. But Brandon, hey, it is. That's a testimony in itself. But we'll talk about that later. But as I love how we evolve, and so, but that'll be my very first call. And don't worry about it. We stay on it, and we have meetings right at the city hall with the powers that be, and so where you can be heard and seen.
And then I just have a follow-up and then I'm done. For these Airbnbs that the council is going to approve, I heard you say that there's not going to be a notification to the residents, but will the council be privy to the Airbnbs that are requesting approval? In addition to that, will the other council members listen to the council representative? So if, say, for example, Corey, you say, no, my residents don't want this on their street, will they agree to have your back? Is that something that you all have worked out or talked about?
It is. That's one thing that's uniform on this council is because you do represent your district, and if that's how you say your residents don't want it, then get this. You represent the people, your constituents, and we're gonna follow your lead. And so that's one thing on this council that we do.
Yeah, I'm just saying specifically for these Airbnbs. So again, for example, if there's an Airbnb that pops up in Willis's area and Willis says, no, I don't want it, will you all vote in agreement with Willis to say, no, this Airbnb we're not going to approve? Or is there some kind of rules to say, well, you know, people may come back and say they're not letting us get approval for these?
We will follow the direction of that council member.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's it.
That's usually what happens.
Very good.
Yeah, yeah. So Ms. Collins, to answer your question regarding zero SDs, the fight is not over. And for those of you that are in the neighboring communities, from the reserve to any of the three Sable Glen, Sable Chase, Sable Run, Ms. Collins, you know the communities on the back end. Attorney Deal is still representing Proterra, unless the developer changed the name. The name of the development is Proterra, as I know it. He is trying to not only get the zoning change for that plot of land at 0 Estes, which, so everybody is aware, Ravenswood and Estes Road access that plot of 10.1 or 10.9 acres of land. For those of you in the neighboring communities, I strongly encourage you all to show up to council if you have, to the meeting tomorrow, if you have not been present previously. Your homes, trust me when I tell you, your homes are going to be negatively impacted by that bill, because of number one, how the location of the land in relation to how your property sits lower than that land, and the amount of dirt that is going to be necessary in order for this developer to do what he's doing. I'm against it, totally against it, for more than one reason, and I live on Ravenswood. So I'm just encouraging all of you to show up tomorrow and voice your concerns.
What color shirts we wearing?
Oh, I like that. Brandy.
Hey, get this, black and gold. Get this.
Black and gold.
What a way to start. Friends of Old National District. Hey, get this.
Okay.
Or get this. Friends Against Negative Change. And so, because this is, now mind you, this is a court-ordered deal, okay? So we don't want to be clear on that. Is this started what, in late 2020?
I don't know how many District 5 t-shirts you got, Councilman Reeves.
Hey, get us as many as we need to have out there. They all green too. I love
You
it.
might as well bring them out.
Hey,
Okay, so we pick up our shirt tomorrow before we come in. And I had a question.
I have a black t-shirt. Is that the color? And I'm serious. So Brandy, thank you for saying that. Tamiko, I'm not going to be in class tomorrow night.
I got you.
Okay. Now, according to
we're gonna go ahead and start the after call. So Tamiko, you go ahead and start recording at this. This is the after call. So this is where we talk candidly and freely